Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Welcome, my dear sons, students of grade 4, the heroes, my heroes. Welcome back to a new session. We continue our discussion about the respiratory system. As you remember, we talked before about the respiratory system and the organs of the respiratory system and the definition of respiration, and we will revise together what have we discussed in the last session, and we continue, inshallah, respiratory system in the human, and we will talk about the respiratory system in the fish to compare between them. First, we have to know that the importance of respiratory system is it is preparing the body, providing the body with oxygen, providing the body with oxygen, because respiration is a process which the body get oxygen, and the oxygen helps in burning food. Then we can get energy from the food which we eat. So the meaning of respiration, as you see here, it is a process by which the body obtain uh, oxygen, and the oxygen burn the food, uh, then get energy. So respiration is the process by which the body obtain energy. How we obtain energy? We obtain energy from the food. How can we get energy from the food? By oxygen. When the oxygen burn the food, you can get energy. So it is very easy. So we can say the respiration process is a process of obtaining energy. Obtaining energy from what? From the food. By the help of what? By the help of oxygen. Because oxygen burns the food and release energy. So we will discuss the respiration and the respiratory system of the human. We know that the respiratory system is a complicated system, and the respiration is also a complex process. It's a complex process. Okay, it contains many processes like inhalation and exhalation, and the gas exchange. We can say that respiration process contain many processes. It is a complex process. It contains many other processes in it. Like what? We say again, respiration is a complex process because it is not one process only. We don't get oxygen uh, by one process only. We take oxygen by inhalation. This is the first process. Inhale in or inhalation, and we get rid of carbon dioxide and water vapor by a process called exhalation, and we have to transfer the oxygen to all body cells, to all parts of the body, by the help of the blood. So this is another process included in respiration, which is gas exchange to transfer oxygen to the blood. So we can say respiration process is a complex process. It includes many processes inside it. It includes many processes inside it. Like what? Like, yes, inhalation, yes, exhalation, and the gas exchange. Okay, let's start talking about the respiratory system. The respiratory system, as you see in the figure here, you can see the structure of the respiratory system, the parts of the respiratory system. The first part of the respiratory system, of course, it is the nose. Okay, the nose is the first part of the respiratory system. You should inhale air from the nose, not from the mouth, because you can inhale from the mouth, but it is not better. It is better to inhale air from the nose, because the nose cleans the air before entering the respiratory system. Remember, the nose is better organ, the best organ for respiration, not the mouth. Why the nose is better? Because it cleans the air and it warms the air before entering the respiratory system. After that, we have here the throat or the pharynx, the throat or the pharynx. The pharynx here, the end of the mouth or the end of the nose. The pharynx is a common organ between respiratory system and digestive system. Then the air after the pharynx moves to the larynx. Moves to what? the larynx. Here, as you see, the food moves to the larynx. After pharynx, the air moves to the larynx. Okay? As you see here, the larynx. Now the air is moving down to the larynx. We are making inhalation now. The air passes through the nose first. After that, to the pharynx. After that, to the larynx. And the larynx, you remember, it is the voice box. It has the vocal cords. The voice produced and the sound of you talk. When you talk, your sound and your voice produced from larynx. And we said if you put your fingers on your neck, you can feel the vibration of the vocal cords during talking. When you are talking, you can see the vibration. You can feel the vibration if you put your fingers on the neck. So this is the larynx. After the larynx, we have here the most important organ. Yes, also it is a very important organ, which is a trachea. Trachea. Trachea is the third or the fourth organ we have here. Trachea. The trachea is the wind pipe, the wind tube or the wind pipe. Trachea. The air moves to the trachea, then the air moves down again, and branches. The trachea branches into two bronchioles, bronchi. The trachea branches like this. The air goes in two directions, one to the right lung and the other one to the left lung. So the trachea is branched into two branches. They are called two bronchi. Two bronchi. Okay. After that, inside the bronchus, there is many branches again. There is many branches again inside the bronchus, and they are called bronchioles. Bronchioles. Yeah, the air now is moving inside what? Inside the lungs. In the end of the bronchioles, there is alveoli or air sacs. Inside it, there is some air sacs called alveoli. They are small air sacs, tiny air sacs like balloons. They are very small and they contain some blood capillaries. Why they contain blood capillaries? Because the inhaled air contains oxygen and we need to carry the oxygen to all body cells. So we need some blood vessels or blood capillaries inside the trachea, inside the alveoli, the air sac, inside the alveoli or the air sac. If we draw the air sac like this, you can imagine if I draw it like this, inside it, there is a lot of blood capillaries. There is a lot of blood capillaries like this. We can draw it like this, blood capillary here, like this, and other blood capillary here, like this, inside the air sac. The blood here, the blood capillary, like this, carry the oxygen gas to the blood. Okay, O2 is carried to the blood. Okay, O2 is carried to the blood. So you can transfer oxygen to all body cells. And this blood capillary, the other blood capillary, carry carbon dioxide. This blood capillary, another blood capillary, carry carbon dioxide again to the respiratory system, then outside the body, carry carbon dioxide outside the body. So the oxygen moves down and carbon dioxide move up. So we make now a gas exchange. This process is called what? This process is called gas exchange. This process is called gas exchange. Remember, gas exchange. In the process gas exchange, the oxygen moves down to the blood and the carbon dioxide moves up to the respiratory system, then outside the body through the nose by exhalation process. So we can say that the respiration process is a complex process you can divide it into three steps. The step number one, inhalation. Step number two, exhalation. Step number three, gas exchange. And after that, when the oxygen goes to every body cell, there is another part of respiration which is called burning of oxygen or cellular respiration. Burning of oxygen, that means you can the oxygen can burn the food and release energy. This is the end of the process. When the energy is produced, the body can take this energy. Everybody cell can take its own energy, so it can do its vital activities. It can do its vital activities. You can run, you can swim, you can play, you can walk. Okay, you can do every process you want because you have energy. Come from where? The energy comes from a burning food uh, by the help of oxygen gas, which you obtain from a inhalation process or from respiration process. So we say that respiration process is a complicated process. It can include many steps. Many steps. You can write the steps here. We can write the steps of a respiration. First one, inhalation. The second step is exhalation. The third step is gas exchange and also burning of food. All of this included in the respiration process. So we call it a complicated process or a complex process. So these are the steps of a respiration process. Step number one, inhalation. Step number two, exhalation. We have also gas exchange, and we have a burning of food. Burning of a food. This is the steps or the parts of respiration. Now we can move. Uh, we can move to the importance of the diaphragm. The importance of the diaphragm in inhalation and exhalation process. The importance of diaphragm in inhalation and exhalation process. We can see here the diaphragm is a muscle. The diaphragm is a muscle found below the lungs. Muscle found below the lungs. The diaphragm is a muscle found below the lungs. You can see in the school book. You can open also the school book here. We have the diaphragm found in the bottom of the two lungs. Okay, and separate the chest cavity from the abdominal cavity. Separate the chest cavity or تجويف الصدر from the abdominal cavity or تجويف البطن. We have two parts of our trunk, chest and abdominal. Chest and abdomen. الصدر والبطن. طيب, we have diaphragm muscle separate between chest and abdomen. Okay. So we have here the diaphragm muscle separate between chest cavity and the abdominal cavity. Now we can study how how does the diaphragm help in inhalation and exhalation. As you see here in inhalation process, the diaphragm muscle moves down. Very good. The diaphragm moves down. The diaphragm moves down, so the air can enter the lungs. The air can enter the lungs. So when the diaphragm moves down, the air enters the lungs and the chest cavity increase in size, become enlarged or become bigger. يدخل الهواء, the air enters the lungs, يدخل الهواء إلى الرئتين, and the chest cavity increase enlarge. تجويف الصدر بيزيد في الحجم. Okay, this is because the diaphragm contract due to the diaphragm contraction. لأن الدايفرام عمل contraction أو move down. The diaphragm contract يعني عمل انقباض and move down ويتحرك لأسفل. So the air can enter the lungs. This is inhalation process. The air carrying oxygen gas enter the lungs. The air carrying what? The air carrying oxygen gas. The air carrying oxygen gas, O2, oxygen gas can enter the lungs through the nose, then to the trachea, then through the two lungs. Okay, this is inhalation process. After that, the diaphragm muscle help in exhalation process also. How? The diaphragm help in exhalation by its relaxation. It relaxes and move up. The diaphragm relaxes and move up. So the air goes outside the lungs. The air goes outside the lungs. This is exhalation process. And the chest cavity decrease in size. تجويف الصدر بيقل. ليه? Why? Because the air goes outside the lungs. So now the air become little amount of air inside the lungs. so it decreases in size. This is the exhalation process. And the air carrying carbon dioxide and water vapor goes outside the body. This is the air carrying carbon dioxide, CO2, goes outside the body carrying the bad carbon dioxide. We don't need the carbon dioxide. We don't need the carbon dioxide. So it goes outside the body due to a pushing of the diaphragm up or relaxation of diaphragm, so that we make exhalation process. We make exhalation process. After that, we can compare between inhalation and the exhalation. Easy. The diaphragm moves down in inhalation. The oxygen enters the lungs also in inhalation. The chest cavity increase in size in inhalation. All of this inhalation. And the diaphragm contracts and move down. Okay. But in exhalation, the diaphragm relaxes and move up. And the chest cavity decrease in size because the air goes outside the body carrying carbon dioxide. Is it easy to compare between inhalation and exhalation process? Here, a question in the school book. You can write your observation and you can write the answers and send me. Inshallah, it is a homework for you. Explain how the diaphragm help in breathing in and breathing out. So in this question, you can answer by saying what happened when the diaphragm contract and move down, and what happened when the diaphragm relax and move up. And the other question here also, you can make it as homework. Compare between the air you breathe in and the air you breathe out. It is very easy question because the air you breathe in contain a large amount of oxygen gas, and the air you breathe out contain large amount of carbon dioxide gas. Another question in the school book you can make also as a homework. How does the respiratory system get oxygen to the body cells? So here we can say the steps of respiration. We can say in the beginning, we make inhalation. The air come inside the body by the help of the diaphragm muscle. The diaphragm contract and moves down. So the air enter the lungs. Of course, the air starts from the nose, then trachea, then to bronchi, then to the lungs, then it goes to the alveoli or the air sacs. Then after that, there is gas exchange happen in the alveoli or the air sacs. The oxygen goes to the blood and the carbon dioxide goes to the air sac. So we make gas exchange and the oxygen reaches the blood. Now the blood can carry the oxygen to all body cells. You can write your answer. I'd like to see your answer as a homework, inshallah. We can, another question in the school book also, why can we not hold our breath for very long? Why? If you hold your breath for 1 minute, for example, what do you feel? You don't enter any air to your body for 1 minute. What do you feel? It is very dangerous. Don't make it again. Don't make it at all. Don't try this. Don't hold your breath for 1 minute or less. It is dangerous because if you don't give your body its need of oxygen, the amount of oxygen in your blood will decreases, and we will suffer from problems, inhalation, respiration problems. It will be difficult to the body to get oxygen. So it is hard to breathe. It is hard to get oxygen. It's hard to get energy. So it is very dangerous. So you shouldn't hold your breath for a minute or more or less. It is very dangerous. You don't make it, okay? But you have to breathe every time, every minute and every second, because your body needs oxygen every minute and every second, okay? This is your homework, my son, today. Thank you very much. And we can solve some questions here in Al Muasir. We have some questions here. We can solve together at the end of the session. Question number 1, put right or wrong. Put right or wrong. During inhalation, the diaphragm muscle relaxes and moves down. Is it correct? The diaphragm relaxes in the inhalation and moves down. Is it correct, my son? Relaxes. Is it correct or wrong? Of course, it is wrong. Thank you. It is a wrong. It contract, doesn't relax. So the answer here will be wrong. This statement is wrong because the correct answer is the diaphragm is contract. The diaphragm contracts. Okay? Is it easy, my son? It is so easy. The correct is A, the diaphragm contracts. So let's go to the second question. Respiration process is the process by which the human obtain energy from the burning of the digested food. Again, read it carefully. You will find it is correct, inshallah. Read it carefully. Respiration process is a process with which the human obtain energy from burning the digested food. I think it is correct. No wrong at it at all. It is very correct. It's correct statement. Okay. So we say yes, it is true. This statement is correct. Respiration process is a process by which the human obtain energy from burning the food which we eat or which we digest. Is it easy, my son? Okay. Now we can move to another question. Complete the following. Complete the following. Respiration process includes space and space. What's your answer? I hear somebody tell me about the two processes of A and A. Very good. Inhalation and A and exhalation. Very good, my son. This is correct answer. Inhalation and exhalation. Very good. Question number 2. Respiration process is a process of entering air carrying what gas space into the body and pushing the air carrying space out of the body. What gas we carry in and we breathe in, what gas we carry out, we breathe out. Yeah, it is very easy. I think oxygen gas we carry in, we get it inside the body. Oxygen. Very good, my son. I hear you answer the question. Oxygen gas enter the body, carrying in, and the carbon dioxide carrying out. Carbon dioxide. Very good. Carbon dioxide gas goes outside the body. Very good, my son. This is the end of our session today. Thank you for your attention. And if you have any question, please don't hesitate sending me. I want you to solve the questions of the school book, and I want you to solve the worksheet. You will find the worksheet on Classera about respiratory system and respiration. I wish you solve it and send me on Classera the answers. Thank you, everybody. I enjoyed this session with you. Until we meet again, thank you and goodbye. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.